Hi there, and welcome to the Future Technologies Conference here in Vancouver, Canada. With me, Philip Liu, CEO of XBOSoft, and involved in some interesting research. So tell us, Philip, what is the research that you're up to?
Well, today I presented our research in the area of developing trust in mobile applications. And so a lot of standards bodies develop what they call models in quality. And but they don't really say, how do we get to trust, which is the end result that we want in our applications.
Okay. Why is trust so important?
I don't know. I mean, if you don't trust an application, you're not going to use it. It's one of those intrinsic properties that affects whether or not many users use an application, that they'll just go away if they don't like it, right?
Yeah. In this research, how do you research this trust? What is it that you actually do?
Well, that's a good question. Well, first of all, we take the characteristics of trust and from a human point of view. So in my presentation today, I talked about four things. The first one was predictability.
Mm-hmm.
So as human beings, we want to be able to depend on another.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to transpose that into our application. So what kinds of things in the design of your software can you make it feel like, oh, I can depend on this software, just like I could depend on you as a person, yeah. Right? The second one is exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So, as human beings, we exchange things. I pay for something, you give me a product back. And the software is the same way in that, we're exchanging, we're having a transaction happen. And so we want that to go through and we want to feel like we get something back too, right?
Yeah.
And the third property of trust is reciprocation.
Uh-huh.
So I do something for you, and you do something for
back.
me. Maybe later, maybe in a different form.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing can happen within our software in terms of us interacting with the software and the software coming back and giving us a return.
Yeah.
And some people call that gamification, right?
Yeah.
I think the last one is vulnerability. If you give me too much money at the store,
Yeah.
and I say, hey, you gave me too much money, here's your money back. I could take advantage of you, but I don't, right? And the same thing we want our software to do. Our software has all of our data. And so if the software lets us know that they're protecting us, that maybe we didn't log out when we should have, and it automatically logs us out because they don't want to take advantage of us or let bad people take advantage of us, that also develops trust. So we try to take these human things and move them into software. Well, the biggest challenge really is being able to prove that these things, these properties of software will end up developing the trust in us humans in trusting the software. And so we have to do that in a variety of ways, a lot of experimentation, a lot of hypotheses on, okay, we think this will result in it, and then we have to actually make these changes in the software. Then we actually have to put it out to the users. Then we have to see if it really works, right? So it takes a long time. If you're working for a company, obviously your company would benefit from that, right? In that more sales, more trust, like if you're a bank, right?
What good will it bring to me, the consumer, or to me, the world?
The world. Well, let's suppose that you're a bank, right? And so if I, as a user, trust banks more or trust banking applications more, then obviously that's going to benefit me in the number of transactions that I can make happen, and it would just make my life a lot more convenient if I can trust things. I mean, all these steps that we have, a lot of them are because we don't trust things, right? And it slows things down.
Yeah.
So if we have more trust, we can make things happen more efficiently.
We are here at the Future Technologies Conference. Where do you see technology taking us in, let's say, 10 years' time?
Well, that's a big question. I've really been thinking about that a lot lately, actually. And, I think one of the keynote speakers talked about Moore's Law.
Yeah.
And I think Moore's Law, the acceleration and the exponential curve, not only applies to hardware, but it applies to intelligence. And we have a lot of the conversation today about disparity of incomes. And on one side of the equation, on the financial side of the equation, it's a math problem, because if you have money above what you need to survive, you can make more money, right, with that money.
Yeah.
And the thing about intelligence, and this is where technology comes in, it accelerates that intelligence. The thing about intelligence is that if you're 20% smarter than the other guy, you don't make 20% more money. You can make 2 times as much money or 3 times as much money because of the technology that you're leveraging with your intelligence. Yeah. So in a way, I think that the gap in intelligence between people is going to accelerate as well, and a lot of that is because of software and the technologies that we're using. And it's not just a wealth gap, it's an intelligence gap.
But the funny thing is, most people give a positive answer to whether what technology will bring us. In your case, this sounds like a downside of technology.
Well, some of us are going to be, you know, the technology haves, and some of us will be the technology have-nots. Yeah. And it's if you don't, you know, get on the bandwagon, you're going to be left behind. And I think that's, you know, you can probably tell from my accent, I'm from the United States. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that we're discussing now is the types of jobs that we're going to have. And we're not going to have coal mining jobs, but we'll have jobs operating robots, right? Yeah. So it's going to be, it's really interesting in how technology is affecting our economy and our lives and our just everything.
Okay. Looking at the conference, how do you like it so far?
I think it's great that we have you know, I'm from industry, even though I do have my PhD and did research and so forth. It's great to visit and be part of this type of conference because I'm used to being part of industry conferences, and to see all these new ideas from different places. And you know, I sat down at the lunch table today, and everybody was from a different country. Yeah. And the power of that and the diversity of the different people and the different ideas is really great.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Okay, thank you.
And for you, if you want to see some other interviews, some great research, some brilliant stories, check out the website. There's a load of videos there. Thank you.